I'm truly honored to have Guruji with us today and looking forward for an enlightening conversation with him. A big thank you to you, Guruji, for sparing your precious time with us for to guide and enlighten us.
It's so nice, Bhavna ji. Thank you.
Sakshi Shri leads the Science Divine Foundation to promote conscious living throughout the world. The foundation also has multiple social outreach programs, including education for underprivileged children, food for all, and healthcare for poor. To donate for these causes or to volunteer with the organization, you can visit the website sciencedivine.org. You can find the link in the description below. Today's topic is quite interesting. We are going to explore a concept which has captivated human imagination since ages, which is about the connection of universe and the human consciousness. Guruji, I came across a quote from Buddha. He said everything in this universe is interlinked and interdependent. So, can you help me understand the profound significance of this statement?
Well, Bhavna, as per my own authentic experiences of life, I have been able to understand that the whole universe is nothing except pure consciousness. Simply because so many things are visible around us. There are mountains, trees, buildings, furniture, and we happen to feel as if universe is something made up of only solids and spaces. But even modern science has concluded this truth that there is nothing except energy. Even the material dimensions and even the hardest solids, the science says it is energy only which is taking different shapes. And since it is energy only, so every single entity is vibrating with that energy. Everybody as an individual is vibrating. The trees are vibrating wherever they are. The mountains are vibrating wherever they are. The rocks are vibrating wherever they are. The flowing water is vibrating wherever it is there. And the waters of a pond are also vibrating where they are. So, this vibrational existence is energy only, and that is what had been experienced and announced by the spiritual masters, sages, and seers through the ages. They have been telling that it is godliness or God, and that is why the energy which science says is energy, the spiritual masters had been saying and naming it as God. So we can say that in the language of the spirituality, this whole existence is composed of God. It is only the God who is expressing himself in the form of this infinite existence. And the science says it is only the energy which is pervading all through the whole existence. And in states of pure consciousness, in a state of no mind, my authentic experience has been that this universe is nothing but pure consciousness. In that experience, one is destined to feel that all the objects of the universe as if they are part of a single living organism, to the extent that even you will happen to find yourself only a part of this whole vibrating universe. So, to me, on the basis of my own authentic experience, I would like to tell you that this whole universe is as good as a vibrating organism full of life. And everything that the existence contains is nothing but the part of that vibrating organism. So, we as individuals are not separate from this universe. For example, you happen to go into sleep and you continue sleeping for about 7 to 8 hours. Quite in the morning, you get up and find that you are filled with new life, energy, enthusiasm. You feel rejuvenated. You find yourself more alive. What happens during the sleep that makes you rejuvenated, that makes you feel fresh and alive? During sleep, only one thing happens: you experience oneness with the whole existence. You don't feel separate because you are no more there. In a state of unconsciousness, you get connected wholly to the universe, and the universe starts vibrating inside you. And that is what makes you rejuvenated in the morning. You fail to have that experience simply because you had been unconscious due to sleep. This feeling of being separate from the universe is a byproduct of our mind. It is the mind that gives you the impression that you are separate. When mind is no more there and you are asleep, you happen to experience that oneness. And that is why it has been said that if you can experience that oneness with the existence without being unconscious, then you become enlightened. The difference is very simple. You get connected to the energy of this universe while you are sleeping. You feel fresh and rejuvenated. But if you get connected to the energy of this universe while remaining fully conscious, then you get enlightened, and that simply means that you pass through a specific state of being in which you are no more separate from the universe. You feel that I am not only a part of the universe, but you pass through such an experience which makes you feel that you are universe itself. There is a difference between the two, being a part and being the universe itself. And once you can pass through that experience, you become enlightened. And that is why the scientists of the inner has expressed the same experience, that samadhi simply means an experience of oneness with the universe while you are conscious. And once you can experience, you will find that the statement of Buddha is simply an expression of the reality, and that expression of Buddha has been corroborated by scientific experiments and scientific developments of modern times also. And that is the same experience which had been expressed by the sages and seers of the Upanishads also. They happen to speak Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, and that is why they could say Aham Brahmasmi and Tattvamasi. Thank you.
This is such a beautiful explanation, Guruji. So, moving ahead, we all are made up of cells, the fundamental unit of life. Each cell has its own wisdom and intelligence. So, a story from Balkrishna's life comes to my mind where he puts mud into his mouth. He was playing somewhere, and then Ma Yashoda comes and she tries to remove the mud. As soon she opens his mouth, she sees an entire universe into his mouth. So she astonishes and So to see this, so this story connects with the concept of microcosm and macrocosm. So the question is, Guruji, how are both related to each other? And if you can also throw some light on Krishna consciousness.
Very meaningful question, Bhavna. As I explained you earlier, this entire universe has got all the characteristics as regards its composition and as regards the structure and laws which govern it. The whole structure and the laws which govern this whole macrocosm, the entire universe, as we call it, the similar principles, the same laws, and the same structure applies to even its component parts, including even individuals. That is why the scientists of the inner had been saying yad yad brahmande tat tat pinde. An individual contains the whole universe in a miniature form in himself. It simply means that the whole ocean can be found in the drop. The ocean and drop relationship is the relationship of the individual to the entire universe. And even modern science has expressed, examined, experimented, and reached the conclusion that the contents of the drop of water are the same that of the ocean is. The whole big tree is contained into the small seed. Otherwise, the big tree could not have come out of that small seed. What it means that the features, structure, and the principles involved in the existence and nature of the microcosm happens to the same, which is there in the entire universe, the macrocosm. And this principle has become now quite established. And that is why I say separation is only an illusion. And the idea of oneness is the real truth. And what Ma Yasoda is telling about her experience when she happened to look into the mouth of Krishna is that the entire universe she found visible into his mouth. It simply means, through this metaphor, the poet or the sage who has presented this metaphor is trying to convey a message that Krishna as an individual could contain the whole universe within himself. And it is the same concept which has been voiced by the sages and seers when they said, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. And that was to vividly explain through the small story that Krishna had the oneness experience, the experience of oneness with the whole universe, and he became an embodiment of expressing the strength, energies, and all the dimensions of the energy of this universe. When you talk of Krishna consciousness in this regard, I have to tell you that Krishna consciousness has been misinterpreted and it has been taken by humanity on a very superficial level. Krishna consciousness means that humans has a possibility of becoming a Krishna. And becoming a Krishna means simply being capable of experiencing this state of unity or oneness with the energy of the existence. Your potential is infinite. Krishna is a symbol of infinite energy, infinite wisdom, and infinite joy. Krishna consciousness can be achieved. It means every individual has the potential, and Krishna consciousness should be the objective. Here I have to tell you that it is not by chanting some mantra or only by worshipping Krishna that you can experience and achieve Krishna consciousness. These are only superficial things. Not bad, quite good that these practices help you in moving ahead. But if you remain confined only to these small practices of chanting and worshipping and then sleeping and doing all the nonsense which you have been doing up till now, then nothing is going to happen and Krishna consciousness will be a distant cry. What we mean by achieving Krishna consciousness is cultivating the practices through which you can expand your inner energies, through which you can achieve infinite potential, and achieving that infinite potential will on its own bring out certain extraordinary characteristics in your being. And that is the first fundamental characteristic about Krishna is that he can manage to hold both the opposite polarities of life together. He is capable of living in all dimensions of life. He is an embodiment of love and compassion. At the same time, he is capable of throwing himself into a great war of Mahabharata. Krishna is a symbol for achieving infinite beauty of aloneness and inner joy. At the same time, he is capable of living his household responsibilities. He is capable of living and carrying out all the responsibilities as a householder. He is capable of carrying out all the responsibilities of a very violent politics. He can pass through all the phases of human life, pleasure and pain, happiness and sadness, success and failure, in a state of equanimity, without getting disturbed. He can pass through all the tremors of life in all its dimensions, in all its colors. And that gives a message that simply by singing songs of Krishna's praise, you cannot imbibe and be a living example of Krishna. Now, Krishna must be lived, not worshipped. And how Krishna can be lived? For he has offered his total message through the Gita. And the three fundamental devices through which he has expected the whole humanity to obtain Krishna consciousness. One is the science of total surrender to the existence through the Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braj. So the first device is the device of total devotion and total surrender. Through cultivating a sense of total acceptance in life, that will lead you towards experiencing Krishna consciousness. Because once you are totally surrendered to the existence, you become in a state of oneness with the existence. The second powerful device is action alone is thy concern, nor its consequences. So, while doing all the activities of life, if you can manage to focus all your energies into those activities with absolute involvement in those activities, with no energy going into the future towards the contemplation of the consequences, if you can put yourself wholly into the act, if you can be total in the act, then you can experience Krishna consciousness and all the joys of this life. And that is known as the yoga of action or the karma yoga. And the third device is jnana yoga, which means yoga of knowledge. Yoga of knowledge does not mean gathering knowledge and information of this word and that word or everything about the self or soul, whatever it is. It is not gathering information about physical, material, or spiritual dimensions of life. He is not referring towards accumulation of any kind of knowledge, either the material knowledge or the spiritual knowledge. It is experiencing your soul. It is experiencing your being. It is about getting centered into your being that offers you the experience not only of your soul, but through experiencing the soul, you experience the whole universe. The experience of the drop becomes the experience of the ocean, and you experience infinite wisdom, you experience infinite joy, and you, in other words, experience Krishna consciousness. So these are the fundamental points which everybody must remember while thinking of Krishna, while worshipping of Krishna, while trying to gain wisdom and enlightenment through the path of Krishna as enunciated in Gita. Thank you.
So, Guruji, is the concept of multiverse a reality? So, in Ramayan, there is a reference of Patal Lok, and do really aliens exist? And because we are very fascinated by this concept of aliens, so if you can answer.
Beautiful, Bhavnaji. No doubt, recently there had been long discussions about multiverses, parallel worlds, this lok and that lok. Even in our scriptures, there is reference to three main lokas, Akash lok, Patal lok, and Prithvi lok. But in certain more scriptures, there are references to not less than 14 lokas. But what we call universe, that is something which I personally feel is equal to existence. And both these words are very meaningful. The universe simply means uni plus verse. And where there is the whole existence is one. That is what we mean by universe. Otherwise, uni word must not have been there. And when we talk of multiverses, it simply means many universes. So, many universes itself is a contradiction in itself. When you say many and at the same time you say uni, it means it is a contradiction in terms. So, I personally feel that it is all a fictitious talk about multiverses. It is all a fictitious talk about many words. No doubt, there are many words. Many words means as many men, so many words. That is one thing. But as regards universe means existence, and Existence means all that exists. Universe means one, everything that existence has a reference to the universe. Supposing even Akash Lok, Patal Lok, and Prithvi Lok are there, so they all are part of one universe. And talking of so many universes, it is simply a verbal jugglery only. When we speak universe, when we speak existence, it simply means one. And so far, I have not been able to come across any scientific evidence towards multiverses or many words. And to me, it all seems to be a nonsense. But no doubt, if we can imagine something, that is good. I appreciate the power of human imagination. The imagination of many words and multiverses is up till now only an imagination without any concrete scientific evidence. But still, let us keep on fabricating this imagination into more and more beautiful dimensions until and unless we can imagine something greater and higher, we can't be able to discover something greater and higher. But up till now, everything has been only up to the level of imagination only. And I say it all useless and rubbish simply because as long as the concept of universe is there, as the concept of existence is there, the whole universe, the whole thing is that there is only one universe. And the second thing, you talked of aliens. As per my awareness, I would like to tell you that this all the planets, and there are innumerable planets in this universe, they are filled with life. There is life on innumerable planets in this universe. But that life may not be the life in the form of a body. Life exists also without body, in the form of spirits. So, on all the planets, there is life, and that life is in the form of spirits, not in the form of bodies or individuals. Maybe at some place of time, at some point of time, we may happen to find life even in the form of body. That is not an impossibility. That is something very acceptable and imaginable. But as I told you, that the whole universe is simply energy of consciousness, and this consciousness takes the form of life also, that may be in the body or without the body. As regards the concept of aliens, up till now it has all been only a figment of imagination. We have been hearing a lot about the unidentified flying objects also. That too has up till now not been substantiated by any scientific evidence. It has been used in fictions in many ways and is being enjoyed by people. That is part of our literary talents and skills. Let us go ahead and enjoy. Let these realities unfold, and in due course of time, let them happen as a scientific evidence. But up till now, we should focus only on one thing. Instead of running into gathering knowledge about this or that, we should focus on the expansion of our own consciousness. It is through the expansion of your consciousness that you can become capable of understanding, enjoying, and living the beauties of this existence. Let the seed of consciousness which is within you expand more and more through meditation so that the pure consciousness of this universe become a part of your life and living. And my dream of creating conscious people, enlightened people on this planet may materialize on a large scale. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guruji. I want to ask you, like, who all are gods? So, I have heard somewhere that Shiva is an alien. So, if you can throw some light on this.
You have asked a very relevant and interesting question. First, you ask who are gods, and then you ask, is God an alien? You see, as I have been talking to you about consciousness prevailing in this universe, and every individual being alive only through this consciousness, and expanding of this consciousness is the only object of spirituality. No doubt there are some souls who during their lifetime happen to expand their consciousness to a greater extent, though yet not fully evolved and enlightened. Such souls, after leaving this body after death, keep on waiting in the universe for entering into another womb. And when such an evolved womb happens to come across, only then they get an opportunity to enter into the womb for getting a new birth. Otherwise, they continue waiting. They, because they have to get the womb of their capabilities, of their level of consciousness. And such spirits which are still there in the universe, but yet they have not been able to take birth because of not being able to get the right womb, such souls are called as divine souls, as godly souls. And these are such souls which have been worshipped, appreciated, admired, and tried to be appeased and appropriated by sages and seers to receive their blessings. But they are only souls who are still moving towards achieving enlightenment or oneness with the universe. Maybe they will take a few lives more. And when we talk of Shiva consciousness, just as I talked of Krishna consciousness, Shiva consciousness, Shiva is not any individual sitting somewhere on the mountain Himalaya at Kailas Mansarovar. No doubt it is famous as his abode, but he is simply a symbol of energy which is one with this universe. And he has given the devices through which that oneness with the universe can be obtained. So, Shiva is not an alien in that sense that he is sitting somewhere on some planet and he is coming and going from here and there. He need not come and go anywhere. When he embodies the energy of this universe in himself, he does not need to take the form. But we have taken Shiva as a symbol to convey important messages to the humanity so that they can imbibe and experience his consciousness, especially through the devices which he has offered. So treating Shiva as an alien is again only a fictitious imagination. Whereas from the angle of scientific understanding of spirituality and scientific dimensions of inner growth, Shiva is a symbol of energy to be imbibed and to be cultivated and to be grown from within in the form of expansion of Shiva consciousness. That's all. Thank you.
Guruji, what is Shakti and how Shiva and Shakti are related to us as an individual?
Bhavana ji, I personally feel that we need to understand the metaphors and symbols used by the religion and spirituality for our inner growth. Shiva and Shakti both are two dimensions of your own energy. And that is why your energy has been expressed as male and female energy. Shiva is a symbol for male energy, and Shakti is the symbol of the female energy. And I remember one of the beautiful verses of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, where Shiva explains to Parvati that there is only one way for realizing yourself. There is only one way to ensure enlightenment in this very life and achieve the state of godliness. For achieving the state of oneness with the universe, he has given one powerful device. He tells Parvati that your inner energy is located at the base center of your body, that is Muladhara Chakra. And through the devices that he told her, he asked her through those devices, she can take her energy upwards from Muladhara to the Sahasrara, the uppermost chakra. And by ensuring the upward movement of life energy from the Muladhara to the uppermost chakra, you can ensure the release of energy from the Sahasrara. And when your energy reaches the Sahasrara, the uppermost chakra, the energy of the whole universe is available to you at the Sahasrara, uppermost chakra, in the form of Shiva. So, by upward movement of your life energy, that is Shakti, Shakti meeting Shiva at the Sahasrara, and they both energies meeting, mingling, and merging into each other, and the discharge of the energy from the Sahasrara results into oneness of Shiva and Shakti. For attaining oneness with Shiva, you have to elevate your life energy Shakti up to the Sahasrara, so that your meeting with the Shiva, the meeting of Shakti with the Shiva, can give you the experience of enlightenment, the experience of your own being. So Shiva and Shakti are two dimensions of your own energy, and you can ensure their meeting, mingling, and merging into oneness. And the whole Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, with 112 devices for the same, happens to give you the science of enlightenment. That is the way in which Shiva and Shakti must be utilized, as I told you in case of Krishna consciousness. So I am telling you in the case of Shiva consciousness. By simply singing songs of Shiva and Parvati, you can never achieve enlightenment, or you can never experience eternal bliss or infinite inner joy. For experiencing ultimate Shiva consciousness, you have to learn to imbibe and live what Shiva had been trying to convey to the whole humanity through his devices. And those devices of meditation are simply a means to ensure the meeting of Shiva and Shakti dimensions of energy within you. And that is the way you can cultivate them. Thank you.
So my next question is, Guruji, are we here by chance because of the Big Bang theory, or we have any purpose here as an individual and as a human race on this planet Earth?
Again, Bhavanaji, so many theories have been offered by religion and by a number of people. Christianity gives its own theory of creation. Islam gives its own theory of creation. Hindus give their own theory of creation. But the idea of the whole creation taking place by somebody being there as a creator seems to be very childish. In fact, in this regard, the concept of Hindus is very meaningful. They say this existence is simply the play of energies. If somebody is giving you the Big Bang theory, it is again on the basis of his own figment of imagination. But I can understand, and even the scientists are understanding this truth, that this universe is constantly expanding. Sages and seers of India had long ago said and given a word, Brahmand. And the Sanskrit meaning of the word Brahmand is that which is continuously expanding. So, what I mean to say is that at some point of time, the universe must have remained centered to a single point. It must have been the seed. And from that seed, the seed started growing and expanding. And that is why this universe, the expanding universe, this Brahmand came into being. And it is still expanding. And it will continue to expand. That is what is the meaning of Brahmanda. And as the whole universe is nothing but pure consciousness, or as the scientists call it, pure energy, it is only the play of that single energy taking different forms. It is becoming tree, the same is becoming mountain, the same is becoming the buildings, the stars, the planets, and everything whatever is contained in this existence is simply the interplay of these energies. And we are also a byproduct of the same interplay of energies. Just as all other things of the universe have no purpose. Have you ever asked what is the purpose of the rivers? Have you ever asked what is the purpose of the mountains? Have you ever asked what is the purpose of birds, the animals? Just like them, you are also a part of this universe. There is only one thing which makes you different from rest of the creatures and contents of the universe. That is, you have been endowed with consciousness.
I'm really feeling privileged to have such an interesting and enlightening conversation with you, Guruji. Thank you so much.